Hey everybody, this is Mary Ann, and I wanted to go over the writing process in our composition class. So, right away, we start with brainstorming, and brainstorming could be any number of things you could do, or a succession of things that you would do. Um, there's also a rough draft that you want to start out with. We revise, and revise is different than editing. So we're going to go over that. We always make sure we have somebody look over our paper. If not, a peer writing, the writing center tutors would be very helpful, or even some colleague that you have that could look over the paper. And then revise it again based on what the peer or the writing center tutor had to offer. Then we edit, which is polishing, and then publishing or turning it in. So I'll just give a little more detailed information on every single one of these. So with brainstorming, let me tell you, just if the main thing is to choose a topic that you are passionate about. I'm telling you, otherwise it's going to be like pulling teeth for yourself, and it's going to be like pulling teeth for the reader because we don't hear that passion and energy in your writing, uh, because it's not a topic that you really are interested in. So that's the main thing. And if there's a topic that you're not sure about, well, reach out. I mean, shoot, we could certainly. I, I'm hoping that you'll choose a topic that you're interested in. And if you're not sure and you want to go with that, just ask me. So scan social media, discuss with friends what you're thinking about. It takes some mulling over to choose that topic that is something that you really want to put the hard work into. And talk to whoever you live with and say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this essay on this thing. And who knows what kind of ideas they might offer you. So talking about it, scanning social media, what is the chatter out there? What's going on out there right now? Look at the news feeds. Is there any recent news in any part of the world that might contribute to topics that you want to pull out in your essay? It could be free writing. So there was an English theorist whose name was Peter Elbow, and this was his idea, which is to free write, where you take 10 minutes and you just write and you handwrite, write and write and write and write about the topic that you might want to consider, other topics that are on your mind, but you don't stop. You just get in the rhythm. And you might have remembered this from Shitty First Drafts when Anne Lamott said, after those 6 pages of ranting, then maybe there's a little golden nugget found in there. Well, she's referring back to pure, or I'm sorry, free writing. And you get as much down in 10 minutes as you possibly can. And who knows, something might come to light out of all of those words, which is something that you didn't have prior to the 10 minutes. Maybe you want to list, I'm a lister. So one thing that I might do is just list some topics that I'm interested in, and they don't have to be equivalent. It could be like a sub topic of one of the topics that I had written down. You never know if you are choosing a topic that's too broad until you start talking to people, and then you're like, oh my gosh, this is kind of a huge topic. Maybe I need to narrow it down. Web mapping is also an idea that people use. They have the little circles, and then it's like you have a little uh, line that goes to another group of circles that are related. And so that's mapping. One thing that you want to think about in the back of your head is a working thesis. So a working thesis is something that we start out with, and it's the topic of our sentence. It talks about, it's one sentence that tells the reader what topic you're going to be talking about. But you won't solidify that thesis until you do more research and you write your paper. So there's an example I could give, and oh, maybe I'll just try to do it quickly. So when I was in this that you guys are taking, I had little children and they were all in diapers. And so I was like, okay, I'll write a paper about what's better for the environment, cloth diapers or disposable diapers. So of course, cloth diapers are better for the environment. So that was my thesis. And so I got to, it wasn't until I did all that research that I did all the data said, it turned out that disposable diapers are better for the environment. than cloth. And so that's why we start out with a working thesis, because we're not done writing the paper. Who knows what the data and the statistics are going to tell us? So we're just starting out with something that we can prove. And if it proves something else, then we'll tweak the thesis into whatever it proves. Round robin is in the classroom when I pair you up with another student, and each of you share with each other your topic, and the other person shares with that other person, ideas of where they could go with that topic. So it's just verbally fleshing out your topic. Rough draft, you start with an outline. You definitely start with that working thesis. You at least identify what you want to put in those body paragraphs. It could be you have a whole lot of information about the first body paragraph and you're not sure about the second body paragraph, but at least try to start, hey, this paragraph is going to be about this, and I'm thinking it's going to go in this direction, but I need to do more research. I mean, even if your rough draft is like that, at least you have a focus for that paragraph, which is half the battle. Don't do the introduction first right off the bat, because as I had mentioned, I don't know if you saw the essay organization video yet, but in the introduction, you start out with a hook and you start background information, and then you have your thesis. So you do want your thesis, but in that introduction, what kind of background information are you going to provide if you haven't even written the paper yet? So just don't worry about that introduction. Plus, you got to come up with a hook. I mean, that's just going to stumble you right off the bat. Like, let's just leave that to the end, okay? And then you have a conclusion. You probably need to leave that to the end too. Those body paragraphs are thesis is most important. Let's just get that right now. Then the body paragraphs are also the next thing to be focused on. Revise. So revision is the big stuff. It's organization. I have this in my first body paragraph, this topic in my first body paragraph. I have this in my second body paragraph. Is that the right order I want to talk about things? And then think about your direct quotes. You want a blend of direct quotes, paraphrases, and personal commentary. So personal commentary can be inferences and deductions. It can be the ideas that you have coming into this paper. So we want to blend. We don't want it all direct quotes because that's somebody else talking. This is your paper. We want to hear from you. So make sure that there is that blend. Maybe you focus too much on the direct quotes. Maybe there's no citations. We got to make sure we do those. So the revision is the big stuff. Is my thesis accurate? Did I actually talk about, if I have my thesis written, did I actually talk about that in my body paragraphs? And then we have peer workshop. And peer workshop is for a few things. One, you read the paper of your peer and you're like, oh my gosh, I might be able to do this. Or this, they did this, maybe I can do this. Get another person's perspective. Like the more people look at your paper, the more people it will appeal to, because you're getting their feedback and they have a different perspective. And so you just broaden your readership the more people you look at your paper and take into consideration their feedback. And then also it creates collaboration. Talking and communicating and getting along with the students in the class or your peers makes learning so much more enjoyable. I don't know about you, but at least I feel that way. After you get the feedback from the writing center, your peer, me, then you can revise again. And then after that, then you're going to edit. Edit is the polishing, it's the grammar, it's the sentence structure, it's the mechanics, it's the format, it's the citations. So making sure you have effective vocabulary and connotation. And then you finally turn it in. Hope this was helpful.